Why is Bernard here? You'll meet him in a moment. Well, because of the celebration recently, I suppose, of youth, young pop stars, athletes in the Olympics, the Paralympics. The younger generations get celebrated a lot, don't they? There's always the young, new, fresh this and the youngest MP ever elected, blah, 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 blah. What about the older ones? When you get to 55, 60, is that it? Age is just a number, they say. And on this International Day of Older Persons, we talk to a man who knows an awful lot about life over 60 and living it to the full. Bernard Leach, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome, Bernard. Now, trustee for Chorlton Good Neighbours, Men in Sheds in South Manchester, and are you a swimmer as well, of some note?
I am a swimmer, yes.
How much swimming do you do?
80 lengths a day.
Good. A day?
Yeah.
How far is 80 lengths?
2,000 metres.
So that's a mile and a bit.
2 kilometres.
Yeah, and you do that every day?
Well, not today, for example.
No, all right, but okay. Well, you're excused swimming to come in here, and is that because you like it, or is it to maintain health, or all of the above?
Both. I think it's really important as you get older to try and maintain your fitness as best you can, because if you haven't got your fitness and your health, you've not got a lot. So it's important for that. And I also, when I was young, and this is something that's disappeared now, I had polio. So that doubly means I've got to try and keep fit to maintain myself.
And what happened in 81 swimming-wise?
I was selected to swim for Great Britain in the, not the Paralympics, it was International Disabled People's Games at the time.
And how did you do? I don't.
You don't know about it, do you? In fact, I withdrew because there was a South African team participating. And at that time, there was an apartheid regime. And so, together with anti-apartheid, I signalled my opposition to it by withdrawing.
OK, well, that is in its way.
That's another issue.
Well,
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's to be saluted that you stood up for your principles, because, you know, a lot of people, some choose to go, some don't choose to go. And, you know, you get to the peak, you get selected, and then the moment is taken away from you for circumstances beyond your control. It would have been easy to have gone and participated, and you didn't. So I salute you for your standing up for your principles, if nothing else. What do you make of an International Day of Older Persons, Bernard? I mean, is it patronising slightly? Is it positive? What's your take on it?
I'm never sure with these big events, because they pass most people by, don't they? Because there seems to be a different one every week.
Every day.
Every day, yeah. So I think it's a reason to be able to do things that you wanted to do already. So if I can give an example, Levenshulme Inspire, which is a community project, they've got a day of events today starting at 11 o'clock at Levenshulme Inspire in Manchester. And there they've got things like head massages, computer drop-ins, discussions, stalls, all sorts of things like that to celebrate older people and to get older people's ideas and how things can improve in that area for older people.
How are they defining older? Can I go at 52?
Well, you can go if you're 20. It doesn't matter what age you are. I think what it is just targeting older people and self-defining. Usually it's sort of over 50, but I think there are... Over that age, there are two very distinct groups. There's the younger old, which I'd include most people up to the age of 80, who are extremely active, who may not be in employment anymore, but they've got the ability and the opportunities to participate in all sorts of community events and activities. And then over 80, there is still a lot of very active people involved. In Chorlton Good Neighbours, we've got several people involved and committed who are approaching their 100th birthdays.
Good Lord.
And we have people in exercise groups aged over 90, things like that. But it's more likely that gradually frailties and difficulties will arise as you get over that age, and the needs change. So I think that's sometimes a useful distinction to make.
So the younger old, for the most part, 80 and under.
I think nowadays, yes, with sort of nutrition and longer life, yes, that's the case. Yeah.
That's an astonishing thing to think of. I mean, I say I'm 52, so you know, for me, and well, yeah, for me and for my children who are in their early 20s and teens, the prospect of a very long life is a very real prospect for them, isn't it? I mean, with the increasing medical aid and nutrition and stuff, and the awareness that we have of how the body works. I mean, if you have grandchildren, I don't know whether you do, they could see three figures, couldn't they? They could do, and
I think it's something to look forward to, because the alternative isn't very good. So I think it's a really good thing, though there's no guarantee that life expectancy will continue to rise forever. And there are all sorts of different pressures on the younger generations, which perhaps older generations haven't faced as well. Pensions, housing, all sorts of things like that.
You're a busy fella. I mean, I'm told you have a report you've written to tie in with older people's day, because you've sort of done an academic piece as well.
I did. I did an evaluation report for it's called the Inspired Peoples Project, which led to a whole range of initiatives. One of which is the Levenshulme Task Force, consisting of older people going out, doing things like looking at the state of the roads and pavements, highlighting them with fluorescent paint, which comes off eventually, I hasten to add. And that was featured on the One Show, the BBC One Show.
And you've been on Radio 4 as well, have you not?
Well, that was with the swimmers at Moss Side, yes.
Right, yeah.
But what it shows is that there's an awful lot of potential for people there, and people want to get involved, not just as recipients, but as doers, to be active. Another good example of that is the men's shed that we're starting up on.
I was coming to the sheds, yeah.
On the Merseybank estate in Chorlton. And Southways Housing have given us a shop unit there with sort of rent-free for a year. And older men, but again, it can be women too, it can be younger people, but we're targeting older men, coming there to refurbish furniture and pass it on, to help mend bikes and things like that for younger people, to make all sorts of things. We've only just started, we've only just got it, and we're launching that. And I would ask any older man who's interested in getting involved to get in touch with me, which presumably you can do through the programme.
You can do through, yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, so if you've got some sort of practical skill and you've got a couple of hours or some time in your week and you're prepared to give up some time and make a contribution to the community, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
You don't even necessarily need practical skills. You just come along for the crack, just to have a cup of tea. I mean, because there is the idea that whereas women tend to, it's a hackneyed phrase in a way, women talk face to face, men talk shoulder to shoulder. Men are much better at talking.
That's a great phrase. I've never heard it before.
Have you not heard that one?
No, and it's right too.
There's some truth in it. There's some truth in it. I mean, it's not totally like that. But the idea is that you can come along and do things together, make things together, and of course at the same time you're having a talk. Which is the same reason in Chorlton Good Neighbours we developed a whole range of initiatives for older men, including a snooker afternoon. Yeah. Same thing. You're going to play the game, but you're also taking the mickey out of each other as well while you're doing it. And the gardening group, which is when you rang me yesterday, I was in the greenhouse picking the last of the tomatoes.
When do you stop? Busiest man I've ever met.
Well, it's just that
30 years on me and loads going on.
I think it's really enjoyable. It's like a change of career. I was in an academic career, and I thought, okay, I've been there, done that. I want to move on, and now I can move into all these other things, which I think are valuable to your community. I'm really interested in local communities. It's where you live, and that's what's important that happens to you.
You're an inspiration to me, sir, I have to tell you. Absolute inspiration. Yeah. Just tell me briefly about the Levenshulme thing again, because that's today and people can come.
Levenshulme Inspire, which is on Stockport Road in Levenshulme. It's got a great cafe there as well. And it's from 11 o'clock today till 3 o'clock. And there are events such as free head massages and various stalls and sessions on the computer. And also there's a little compendium of videos I took of older people giving their views, which you can have a look at as well.
Okay, lovely.
So there's a lot going on there.
Lovely to meet you, Bernard. Thank you for your time this morning, and thank you for the work that you're doing for your community. That's Bernard.